Wasted! Wasted chance! Wasted! Wasted chance! Wasted! Wasted chance! We love wasting chances! Sorry, I just had to prepare myself for that. Because I'm pretty proud of that one. I came up with that one myself, and yeah, it's pretty accurate. And also, Tuchel's an idiot. Just throwing that one in there as well. Yeah, I mean, this game, it's not like this was going to win us the title if we won today, but it was the last thing to give us a little bit of hope. Because the title's been gone for a while now. Ever since City pulled ahead of us, and we've just been screwing ourselves over game after game, and Tuchel's been showing how much of an idiot he is game after game. The title's been gone. This was just the nail in the coffin, that showed we're definitely not in it. And it's going to take, again, something miraculous for City to give up the title at this point. And we could have been right alongside him if Tuchel was just not an idiot. This is 2 games in a row against City that, yeah, I mean, last season he somehow masterminded these brilliant games against Pep. And then this season, I don't know if just maybe he's got some pride in him now. He's like, yeah, I beat Pep 3 times last season. I understand him so well. Then why are you playing him like an idiot 2 games in a row? First game, we were way too defensive. You set us up to basically just sit in our half for 90 minutes and never break out. And so, of course, they're going to dominate the game and then eventually get that goal. Today, you set us up to basically play... I don't even know how to describe it. Like, we were basically set up to play the ball around. Move it around and basically as if we're just going to keep possession the whole game, which is not what we're going to do because that's not how City plays. City plays to keep possession a lot. So what you want to do is you want to move it down the field quickly, get it in behind, and have Werner burn him for pace, open up some space for the people around him, and probably have 3 in the midfield just to keep up with the numbers and the amount of pressing they're going to do. But Tuchel just throws all of those tactics out the window and says, no. Let's go with our typical 5-2-3. Let's go with that typical formation, and let's make sure we have 3 players up top, all of which are not that fast, and we're only going to have 2 in the midfield. Also, let's bring Sarr into the team because that's going to work out brilliantly. And, yeah, let's just really make sure we move the ball around nice and slow in the backfield while we have 3 just waiting up top for us to get up there, which is never going to happen with this slow as slow as we're playing. Yeah, that'll work, right? Oh, and while we're at it, let's throw Sarr and Alonso on the same side so that way we have one slow guy and one guy that can't defend well when you've got Rudiger that normally plays on the left side. I need to take a drink of water. Something scratching my throat. That's probably the frustration of what just happened, like me holding in the screams because I couldn't really scream this morning. And, yeah, I think it probably damaged my throat a little bit. So that's fun. But yeah, I mean, as far as Tuchel's concerned, he's an idiot. I don't get it. I really don't. Ever since the Juventus game, it's like he's not gotten anything right. We've managed to get some wins, sure. He's not gotten anything right. It's been all disappointing. We've barely made it past Tottenham, and just... I don't understand how he can continue to make these stupid decisions. Sarr against the defending champions, never a good idea. Oh, but he doesn't have any other center defenders. Azpilicueta is a center defender. Hudson-Odoi or Pulisic can play right wing back, and you can put Azpilicueta in the back 3. But no, you've put Sarr in there, and you put him on Alonso's side, so that's already not going to work. In the midfield, he went with Kovacic and Conte. That's fine. Except today they were clearly being overrun. So go with a third midfielder. Doesn't make that decision in the second half, so clearly he doesn't understand what was going wrong today. And then up top, he went with Lukaku, Pulisic, Ziyech. 2 creative players that wait for the game to come to them. They don't drop deep to receive the ball. They sort of wait up top, and then somebody gives them the ball, and then they maybe can do something, which today neither of them did anything. And then Lukaku, I don't know what's going on with Lukaku because he's looked okay recently, but today just back to his same old self, making runs behind the defender, not really keeping hold of the ball very well, looking slow and not really putting up much of a challenge. He had a couple moments here and there, but for the most part, it looked back to the Lukaku probably around the time he was complaining about Tuchel's systems and stuff. Like, this is the Lukaku that I was seeing back then that I'm like, why did we pay this much for him? He was back to that today. So all of this is set up incorrectly. Second half to make changes. First two changes, Werner, Hudson-Odoi on, basically just changing up the front three personnel. So now you've got Hudson-Odoi with some pace, Werner with some pace. Okay, that seems okay, except for the fact that our midfield's still being overrun. And then shortly after he makes that change, sure enough, what happens? Conte gets pulled out of position, ball slipped in behind him, he can't make it back in time. Kovacic is somewhere else guarding somebody else, and De Bruyne is just wide open top of the box because we've been overrun in the midfield again. And then this time he finds the corner. It's so simple. If you had a third midfielder in there, guess what? He probably would have been, if you put Jorginho in there. I know it's shocking that I'm asking for Jorginho, but if you put him in there, at least you've got a third body to cover that space that we've been leaving open most of the game. But he didn't make that decision. He didn't put Mount in there. And even when he did, what does he do? He puts him further forward. Because at that point, I mean, we're chasing the game, so you got to try to do something attacking. But still, you haven't affected the midfield at all, and that's where we're losing the game. It's very obvious to anybody with a brain, which is why I don't think Tuchel has one. I think he's substituted his brain for another one. I don't know whose. I don't know if he went and borrowed De Boer's or something. But ever since Juventus, he's just gone off the rails. He's lost his mind. We went from tactically dominating one of the best teams in Italy to struggling. Ever since that game, I don't know what's happened. But just, you look at the game today, and the problems are so apparent. There are other problems, but you look at the one that can be fixed to help us create more chances and to help us get a little bit more of a grip on the game, because we were being dominated throughout the entirety of the game. It really should have been 5-0, if we're being perfectly honest. We got lucky that they wasted several chances and Kepa made some good saves. It could have been a lot worse. And it all comes down to we were being dominated in the midfield. Conte, for whatever reason today, was not at his best. We needed a third midfielder in there to help shore up the back a little bit, give us an extra number so that way we could help out. And he never did. The most he did was Ziyech and Pulisic dropped a little bit deeper, but they're not midfielders. They're not going to help make up those numbers. There's nobody sitting in the middle to be the buffer in front of the back four or back three. There's nobody sitting in there. That's what we needed today. Instead, we had two midfielders that were just sort of around. Nobody's really in a position. They're all just sort of moving around. And it's just very easy to play whenever we're that open and lacking any sort of structured midfield. So yeah, I mean, all of his subs, his tactics today, again, 100% wrong. And I don't know if Pep just got in his head, made him think he was a genius, and he's just like, yeah, I'm a genius, and constantly showing why he's not a genius. But today's another example for me as to why, with Tuchel in charge, we're never going to win the league. Because he can't consistently get it right. He can do it every now and then. He can get those decisions right when it counts in semifinals and in finals. I think he can do it for us. But when it comes to a long stretch, when it comes to winning the league over 38 games, it's not going to happen. He can't get it right that much because he's stupid. He has answers for one-off games. He doesn't have answers for the long run, though. He doesn't understand how to set up his team to win in different situations. It's just one situation he can figure out in that moment, and then we're done. So, yeah, I don't have faith that Tuchel is going to do anything for us, really. We might win a few trophies here and there because he does well in tournaments, but I don't see us doing well in the league from here on out as long as he's in charge. Let's talk about the individuals. Kepa, the goal is kind of what I've been waiting to see if he would have improved on by now. It's the moving his feet and getting across, and he still lacks that. Everything else about his game though is just he's come leaps and bounds really, because like moving his feet, I do wish he could work on that a bit more, and I do wish he would work on that step and push instead of just falling. Because it's something that's plagued his game since he came in, and that's been a few years now, and he's still not improved it. It is worrying for me that he's not learned how to fix that. The other parts of his game, though, really have come a long way. I mean, his one-on-one situations, he's made several great one-on-one blocks in the past few games. So yeah, I got to applaud everything else in his game. It's just those moments where a shot comes in from outside the box and it's not, he's in the middle of the goal and he's not quite ready to push to one side or the other. It's like he can't figure out how to reset himself to push and get that extra little bit of momentum to get across. And so, unfortunately, it's going to go in. But at least he tried. That's something I will give him credit for. In the past, shots like that, he probably would have realized he's not going to get there and just stood and watched. Today, he actually did try to like push and get down to it. So, I mean, I'll give him credit that he tried. That's not something he would have done in the past. So, but I mean, overall though, he's still solid, and it's a lot better than what I've seen from him before. So at least he's improving. Rudiger on the right side had some decent moments, but overall just still kind of looking a little wild recently. I don't know what it is. I don't know why suddenly he started going into these crazy challenges, but it really feels like he's sort of losing that ability to keep himself cool. Because he's always been kind of that character that'll fire up the other team, maybe get in their face a little bit, maybe rough them up a little bit. But recently it's become kind of stupid to the point where he's hurting the team with some of his challenges, whether he's getting himself a card or he's giving away a foul or, diving into a challenge and missing the ball entirely and letting the guy through. It's been some moments recently where I feel like, okay, now you're verging into you're doing stupid stuff territory. It's not just, oh, you're trying to rile up the other team anymore. So I don't know why that is. Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with the contract. Maybe he's not happy and he's just, whatever, screwed. I'm just going to go out and do what I want. I'm going to try to hurt people. But it's not been as good recently. He's definitely not done the defensive side of things to back up making those mistakes. Silva, for the most part today, was very solid again. Probably one of the reasons why we didn't give up 4 or 5 as well, because he made a lot of great defensive blocks. And then you get to Sar, and again, don't understand why he's playing against the defending champions, because he couldn't handle his own against Chesterfield. Non-league side, he gives away a goal, and then against Tottenham, he gave away several good chances. So surely against Man City, he'll do great, right? It's not April Fool's Day, okay? Stop it, Tuchel. I don't understand why you think this joke is funny, but it's not. A guy that can't defend against Chesterfield and against Tottenham is not going to defend against Man City. He's not going to do it. And sure enough, he made some good blocks. Oh, he made a great tackle there. Look at his overall game. How many times did he get beat? Either on the dribble or with pace, or just from a ball over the top that he's not ready for? Several times. How many times did he give the ball away? Several times. So, I just don't get it. And again, he's on the side with Alonso, and on Alonso, just, it's not a game for him. And I know it's rough because we don't have Chilwell, but still, like, I don't know. I do wish we had a solution for games where Alonso, we know he's not going to be useful. I don't know what it is. I don't know if Azpilicueta needs to slide over to that side and play left wing back and then have Hudson-Odoi on the right side. But then again, that means you don't have Azpilicueta in the back three, so you're going to end up with Sarr back there as well. So I don't know what the answer is. Like, that is one thing I will say for Tuchel. Like, he's kind of hard off at the moment because he's missing Chilwell and James. Like, those two does mean he has to shuffle a little bit. But man, I was actually watching some just kind of reminiscing of some of the old days of like Conte when he was in charge, and just watching how good Alonso was back then. I'm like, man, he looks old these days. Like, he looks slow and just like he can't keep up with the pace of the game. And it just, today really showed. I mean, Sterling was eating him alive all game. So, but again, I do think Tuchel should take some blame for that too, because if you put Rudiger back there behind Alonso, then he's got good help. But instead, you've put Sarr back there, which means he doesn't really have good help because Sarr doesn't read the game as well as Rudiger most of the time. And then Aspilicueta on the right side, just worked hard, but unfortunately doesn't really have the attacking capability to really give us much in the final third, which is what we were lacking today. Into the midfield, Kovacic and Conte, I mean, both of them are pretty much in the same boat. They've neither of them really had a good game today, but I also don't feel like it's proper to blame them for it because they were kind of... The thing is, Conte sometimes can run the midfield by himself. Today, he wasn't fully fit. I don't know what was going on with him. I don't know if he's still struggling with an injury or with fitness, but today he looked off the pace. So Conte, not at 100%, is not going to be the midfield dominance, especially against Man City, that he normally is. Especially when they're putting 3 or 4 guys in the midfield on Kovacic and Conte. Like, every single time they're on the ball, every single time they're looking to make a tackle, there's several guys around. It's something, honestly, I wish we would adopt, because there's way too many times where one guy's making a run with the ball, and they poke it off of him, and nobody else is around to pick up that poked ball. There's just none of our players, so it pokes to one of the other team's players, and then they're back at us. With Man City, you poke the ball off of one of their players, there's another one right near the ball, and they're going to pick it up, and they're going to try to do something with it. So when we're playing like that, we've got 2 in there, they're overwhelmed. It's really hard to say that it's their fault they didn't have a good game today, because I feel like Tuchel should have done more to help them out, to really give them an outlet, to give them an extra body in there so they could cope with the numbers that City was putting on them, because there was a lot of pressure. But he didn't do that. So I guess the one thing I can blame them for is if you realize you're getting overwhelmed, you realize you're getting swamped, maybe stop looking to play it short and keep so much possession. And even if that's not what Tuchel wants, what he wants doesn't matter whenever he's put you in such a crappy situation, And I know that sounds weird. It's like, oh, but you should trust the coach, right? Yes, but if the coach doesn't know what he's doing and the coach has set you up to fail, sometimes it's okay to go against what the coach is telling you. So there maybe should have been a few more dump balls over the top of the defense just to get us out of that pressure, so that way we're not giving away such dangerous opportunities to Man City. Because there were several times where all of this pressure that we're under, we don't play it out, we look to keep possession, and it's just we're waiting to give away that ball that sets up a good chance for them. Where if you just dump it long, even if we give it away to their defense, now we have a chance. The giveaway is not in a dangerous area. We have a chance to set ourselves again, look to win it back, and see if we can hit on the counter. But I do think part of that, too, is the fact that Tuchel didn't put Werner in today for some reason. So Lukaku, he does look to make runs in behind, but he doesn't have the pace that Werner has. So I feel like maybe they didn't trust him to make those runs as well. Maybe they didn't trust that he would put any pressure on him, which is fair. So it was a very big mess in the midfield today, though. And I feel like both of them, again, they didn't have good games, but I think there's blame to be shared between them and Tuchel as far as why they didn't have a good game. And then the front 3, Ziyech, I remember an interview I saw from him recently after the Tottenham first leg game, and he was complaining about the fact that we didn't put the game away, that we wasted so many chances. And a lot of people are speculating he's talking about the one great ball he sent into Werner, where he tried to chip Lloris and put it into his hands. He has no freaking right to talk, right? Like, what a hypocrite. We got to put away our chances. Okay, ball falls to you. Lukaku, good shot. Ederson, great save. Ball falls to you inside the 18 with only the defenders in the goal. And you take a touch. Ederson is now in front of the goal. And you blast it over. Wasted chance. Ball falls to you. Lukaku's making a run in behind. All you got to do is slip him in. You wait. Now he's run offside. And then you play it too far right to Ederson. Wasted chance. Ball comes to you. You're practically in behind the defense. And then you cut it back. You play it to Alonso, who's now covered by 2 people. And now all of Man City's back line is back when it was a 3-on-3. Wasted chance. If Ziyech dares to bring up, oh, we got to stop wasting our chances, we got to start putting them away, I hope the internet rips into him and just compiles a video of the past few games of how many chances he's wasted. How many times he could have put the ball into a great spot. How many times he could have really done something to hurt the opposition. How many wasted crosses. How many times he's mishit passes. How many times he dumped the ball right to the keeper. It's just... It was really, really frustrating, especially with that knowledge that he's complaining that we're wasting chances, and just watching him today. Mr. Leadfoot can't put a freaking touch on the ball at all, and wasting chance after chance after chance after chance. I mean, granted, we weren't creating that many chances to begin with, but still, the few chances that we could have created, typically, we didn't create those chances because Ziyech had a bad touch, or Ziyech had a bad pass. Or Ziyech did something stupid with it. Went backwards, and now all of a sudden we're not about to create a chance. Now we're keeping possession in our backfield until they pressure us into a long ball that they're just going to win because Lukaku isn't doing anything today. So, yeah, Ziyech for me, another game that tells me he's not as good as we thought he was. Like, there have been moments in the past where I'm like, he is a good player. He's shown his quality. I don't think he has it. I don't think he's consistent enough. So, and then Pulisic was just very quiet today. You know, anytime he got on the ball, didn't really see him do much with it. It just felt like I don't know, it's like he has ability to take people on, but he doesn't do it very often. So, I don't know. For Ziyech, I noticed him today because he was doing so many bad things. For Pulisic, I didn't notice him today, but that's almost just as bad because that means he wasn't doing anything. So it's just kind of a tale of two attacking players that really failed us today. And I don't understand why they're both playing anyway because they're very similar. And I feel like it's something Tuchel's done in the past where he's put very similar players up there. And instead of having a Mount or a Werner that can be a different player and make the defense work, he's got two players that are not going to move a whole lot. They're just going to kind of be where they are, get the ball, and then try to take on a player. And unfortunately right now neither of them are good form. At least in good enough for him to take on a Man City defender and beat them. So it really hurt us throughout the game. And then Lukaku, like I said, he's back. He's back to the same old Lukaku that we saw earlier this season. Not first couple games, but the games after that, where he's just not involved. Making runs that aren't dangerous. He's hiding behind defenders. He's not winning a single challenge in the air, which I think is really despicable for a player of his size and strength. He should not be losing out on every single header of a dumped ball forward. If he misses a few, that's one thing. But with the ability he has, with the physical capabilities he has, he should not be losing every single header, and he did today. So that tells me either one, he doesn't want it enough, or two, maybe he's just not quite the striker that we were hoping he was going to be. Because if you can't win a single header when you've got that type of strength and height, maybe you're not good enough. Maybe you're just not world class. So yeah, I mean, just all of his game today really didn't help us. He had one good chance, good ball up from Kovacic, and just didn't put it wide enough around Ederson. Honestly, I thought he should have put it a bit lower because he put it at a good height for him to get his hands over too. But, I mean, it was the one chance he had, and he didn't put it away, so it kind of does... No. There was the other chance. I forgot about this one. This one was very early on, so I actually forgot about it because there was so much other bad stuff that happened after that I forgot about this bad thing. But no, one of the first things he did well today was spinning, I think it was... can't remember if it was Laporte or Stones. One of them, he spun them, they slipped, and he's in behind. And one defender, the goalkeeper, and he's got Alonso right here. So all he has to do is either fake that pass and open up the space to have the shot here for the defender, or if the defender doesn't go to him, well, now you just got to slip it out, and basically Alonso just has to place it, and it's a goal. What does he do? I'm going to drive a ball at offside Ziyech and hope he can get a touch, which he didn't because you put it behind him, but he's also offside. I mean, you don't get a better chance than that. It's on your left foot. If the defender steps to Alonso, if you fake that pass and the defender steps, now you've got a wide open shot to put it in that corner with your left foot. And if he doesn't step to Alonso, well, guess what? Now you just got to slide it right outside for him, and boom, he's in on goal. Or he even cuts it back, and now you've got an even easier shot because the defender's probably stepped over to him. But he didn't do any of that. He said, no, I'm smart. So I see Ziyech is making this run, and he's well offside right now. By the time he played it to him, it actually had come a little bit closer. But still, you saw he was offside, so he wasn't an option. But he didn't even play him a good ball. He drove it thigh high about, and he put a lot of pace on it. What's Ziyech supposed to do with that? You put it behind. Just, yeah. I hope Haaland's available. Send him back to Inter. Bring Haaland in. Maybe we'll get a striker who, one, wants to be here, and two, will actually work hard for the team and do something good. Because today, just Lukaku didn't do anything good. Aside from the one turn. The subs that came on, Hudson-Odoi, Werner. Hudson-Odoi, again, put on the left side because I guess Tuchel doesn't want him to do what he does well. Makes sense. And, just he put a little bit of work in, but for the most part didn't change much. Werner gave a little bit extra, but, I mean, he didn't really affect the game as much as I was hoping he was going to. He worked hard. He brought some pace and some energy up front, and it did help us, I guess, have a few more forays into the final third. But for the most part, I mean, it didn't really change the game much. And then Mount came on, and again, instead of bringing that extra man to the midfield, he was more of kind of part of the front three, I guess, and Hudson-Odoi kind of slid more out wide. So that one didn't really change much either. And honestly, he didn't really look good today either. He's been kind of in a bad run of form recently. And today was another game where I just kind of felt like you're not really giving us much. So, yeah. All in all, I mean, like I said, it's pretty much the final nail in the coffin that cements that we're out of the title race. We've been out of it for a while, but this kind of just says, all right, well, now we've got nothing to play for in the league except for making sure we don't drop out of the top four, because now that's a danger too. So, I don't know. It's hard to get excited for these games anymore because I always feel like even if we win, it's not really been that fun to watch. It's been a lot of bad defending, a lot of missed opportunities, wasted chances, frustrated play. It doesn't feel like Tuchel knows what he's doing anymore. So it's hard for me to get excited about what game's coming next. It's hard for me to get excited about playing, I don't remember who we have midweek, but then we've got Tottenham next weekend. And we saw over the two legs in the EFL Cup, we're better than them, but that doesn't mean they can't beat us because the way we're playing, we're a very beatable team. So, I don't know what's happened. I don't know why we've suddenly started playing like this. Ever since, like I said, the Juventus result is where everything changed. And I don't know if I jinxed it because I called Tuchel a genius. I don't know if that's what it was. If so, I'm very sorry. But, ever since that game, it's been, even the wins, we've drawn, we've lost, we've done everything under the sun. We've won some games. It's been very hit or miss. But what's been consistent ever since the Juventus game is even when we win, it's not convincing. None of these games have been good performances. They've all been average. The only one that I would say was good was Chesterfield, but even then it was a non-league side and we still couldn't keep a clean sheet against them. So even that one came with its own little downside. So every game has had some issue. I don't know why. But I think it comes down to Tuchel. I don't know, maybe if he just felt the pressure of the winter season and all the games coming quick and fast and he wasn't prepared for how tough it was going to be. But if he can't deal with the winter season, I mean, we're going to struggle every single year because we're not getting rid of the winter season. I know a lot of people want it to be gone. It's not going to be. It's something that makes the Premier League interesting because you got to deal with so many games thick and fast. and it's something that teams have to deal with. It's why a lot of them have started building deeper squads, so that way they can deal with playing a lot of games back to back. So if Tuchel can't figure out how to rotate, how to manage his team, how to make sure we navigate the winter period well, every season we're going to have that drop off, and teams like City and Liverpool are going to keep, playing well, keep getting the wins. Even if they're not playing well, they're still winning at least. When we don't play well, there's a very good chance we're dropping points. So, yeah, all in all, it's just another frustrating performance, another frustrating result, another Pep victory over Tuchel. And I do feel like this is beginning like Pep's dominance over Tuchel. At this point, I kind of hope that we don't face them again, because I don't want to get beat by them again. Because it's frustrating to watch us play Man City at this point, because Tuchel sets up like we're basically the underdogs, and like, oh, we gotta sit back and we gotta hope that we don't give up too much possession, and we don't give up too many chances, and we're gonna waste time, and it's not fun to watch us play like we're the worst team. But anyways, with all that being said, that's it for me today. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on this game? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Chelsea reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.